Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live love coaching extravaganza. I'm super excited to have you here. Those of you watching live on video on Facebook, welcome. And there are a ton of you on the Q&A call on Instant Teleseminar listening via audio. So I'm going to be switching back and forth between both. If you're listening in on audio, go ahead and type in your name in the chat box. Let me know that you are here. And if you're watching live as well, let me know. Say hi. Let me know that you're here. I want to see you, hear you, feel you. This is going to be interactive. Hi, Gail. I'm seeing you on video. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I want to jump right in to the love coaching extravaganza and let you know what the intention is. Hi, Michelle. I'm seeing lots of my clients on and clients in the new upcoming Get and Keep Your Man round. I love it because I love that you all are so freaking committed and in it to win it for love. So awesome. All right. So here is the purpose of the Love Coaching Extravaganza. As you are well aware, it is 2018. We have a brand new year. We're actually already 22 days in. So I decided to host the extravaganza on January 22nd, 122. If you're into numerology, it's a really special number. It is literally like the 1 becoming 2 kind of energy. It's a powerful day for manifestation. It's always a powerful day for manifestation, really, when you understand how simple manifestation is. But I love using this energy. And if you're watching this afterwards, it's still powerful because we're filming on the 22nd of January, but it's literally like this energy of 1 becoming 2. And then I was researching, the numerology of 122. It's talking about powerful partnerships are going to help you manifest what you want. This is a powerful partnership. You and I, you watching this, to let me help you move forward to the love that you want. So it's a powerful day to declare exactly what you want to create in your love life. Now, here's the thing. It is the beginning of 2018, but it's likely that your love goal that you're going to say, I want to manifest, in a moment we're going to have you declare, it's likely that you've had this goal for a while. Right? So what I know about women is, and I've worked with women who've been single for more than 10 years. I've worked with women who were raped, divorced, beaten. I mean, to the extreme, that extreme, to women who just, nothing bad has happened, but they just haven't had a relationship for their entire lives, or maybe they're in their 40s and 50s and they're, a virgin and they haven't found anyone, like you name it, those extremes. But what I know to be true about every single woman is your love desire does not go away. It doesn't go away. As long as you've had the desire, which for most of us is since our at least teens, some even earlier than that, it doesn't go away. Why is that? It's because you're meant to manifest it. But why when you want it so much? I know you all want it. I know you all want it. Hi, Quanica. I'm watching you live on video. I know you want it. Why isn't it here? If you're watching this, you're probably already been in my community. You probably even have seen a video that I have on Facebook or on YouTube called The Only Tool You Need to Manifest Your Man. You've done a vision board. You've read about the law of attraction. Why is it not here? Well, the reason is because most women do not understand this concept that I'm about to share on this call called emotional interference. So you say you want something. That is step 1. If you guys have done my Attract the One challenge, for example, you'll know. Step 1 is declaring, I want this thing. And then the manifestation part I'm going to share with you is actually not that difficult, but it's the emotional interference that gets in the way for every single woman. So on this love coaching extravaganza, I'm going to be sharing with you how to manifest. It's incredibly simple. You can write it down. This is exactly it. But then we're going to be going into 3 different types of interference. Interference is the thing that stops you from manifesting even though you really want it, because that's what you need to understand and that's what you need to overcome, because you're all smart women watching this. So that's what you need to know. How do you get rid of the interference that's going to be stopping you from manifesting what it is you say that you want? So step one is declare, though. So I want you all to think for a moment, why are you here? Why are you watching me? Why are you listening? You could be anywhere in the world. You're all busy, but you're here listening to these words. Why? I want you to reach into your heart. That desire that hasn't gone away, no matter how much you try and ignore it or eat ice cream over it or say, I don't need a man or whatever crazy stuff we women do. I need you to reach into your heart and feel that true desire. And I want you to claim it here with me. If you're watching live, I want you to share with me, what is it that you're committed to manifesting in 2018 in your love life? Esmeralda's saying, affirmations, that's where I'm at. Start talking like you have it. Yeah, affirmations help, but I'm going to show you why it's not the end thing. Or actually, there's a specific thing you need to do with an affirmation, Esmeralda, to make it work. But I want to hear from some of you, what are you committed to creating? What's that desire? Are you even clear on that? Because I want to manifest love is not clear. That's too broad. That's too basic. Somebody's saying having trouble finding the video on Facebook. So if you want to watch this on Facebook, you have to go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com. I think it's Nicole Moore Love or Nicole Love Works. That I've included a link to this in the email. You should have gotten that. But go to the page, and it should be the first page on the video. Video on the page. It's facebook.com/Nicole Moore Love Works. And if you go to the left-hand side, you'll see something that says video. You click that, it actually says live, and then you're going to see the live video with me there. Okay? So that's how you access. So what are you committed to creating? I want to hear you. So I'm committed to making time being open. I'm committed to being married to a kid, celebrating a joyful and purposeful marriage. Yes, Vidya she's a client, so you know how to do it. I'm ready for my man to be all in. Amanda's experiencing true love that lasts. So you can tell who's my clients because they are saying it in the correct way to affirm and manifest the love that you want. Committing to finding the love of my life this year. Yeah. So these are some of the people that I'm watching your responses on the video. So feel in your heart how much you want it. Take a moment. Feel how much you want it. There's a reason I'm asking you to do this, is because what women do is they go, I want it, but I'm afraid. I want it, but I don't have time. I want it, but this guy ghosted on me, and that's an excusable reason to quit on my love life. I want it, but I'm going to go build my business right now. So one thing we do is we say we want it, but then we say I want it, but. And remember, manifesting is easy. The emotional interference is not. So the but is a huge emotional interference, because what you're doing is there's this desire that's in your heart, but then what's covering up that is but. So I was describing it like this to some of my clients, and I'm going to share it with you because this is a key to manifestation. So one of the things that I would love to have in my life at some point is, and not even at some point, I want to have it soon, is a Tesla. So there's a reason why I want a Tesla specifically. I'm not a car person in any sense of the word. I routinely, when we're trying to go to our car, I will just like walk up to the wrong car. I've never been a car person. I'm actually a New Yorker, and I actually don't even have a driver's license yet. Some of you didn't know that about me. But there's a reason I want a Tesla, and it's because I love luxury. I love luxury. And to me, a Tesla feels like a really luxury vehicle. And if you're watching, some of you, my clients, I explained this today. So there's this desire for a Tesla. And every time I see someone with it, I'm like, yes, I want it, I want it, I want it. But then there's some emotional interference. So if I think about, I want to manifest a Tesla, I want to manifest a Tesla, I want to manifest a Tesla. Why is it not here yet? Well, this is the honest truth. I think about the price tag and then I think, oh, how am I going to create that, right? Emotional interference. But that's not even it, because I know I can manifest. I don't really have a problem manifesting money. I've conquered that game. When I think about it, I think about all the effort it would take for me to go get my driver's license. So backstory, you guys, I got my permit 2 years ago. I was driving around with my permit. I was learning. I went to take the test. I failed the test because there was this thing I didn't know about with a bike lane. I don't know. I failed the test, and then my permit expired. I went to take the permit test, and I didn't realize you have to get only like 3 questions or less wrong on the permit test. So I failed the permit test. So now I have to study for the permit test. Then I have to take driving lessons again because it's been so long. So why am I telling you this? I want it, but I think it's going to take so much effort to get myself in the driver's seat. So then how do I manifest the Tesla that I want? Because I still want to have that emotional experience, but there's emotional interference in the way. Are you hearing me? Are you getting this? Hey, Crystal, I'm seeing you on video. Can you feel in my example? I can want the Tesla all day long, but if in my emotional experience, it's hard to do this because I have to take XYZ effort that I really don't want to take to get there, it's blocking it, right? So you all have emotional interference. Kanette saying Teslas are cool. Hi, Kanette. Is this Kanette from years ago? I think it is. If it is Kanette from years ago, I'm really happy to see you here. So can you just write down emotional interference if you have a pen and a paper, which by the way, you should. Because this is what we have to clear. So I said to you, manifesting is easy. What does that mean? How do you manifest? It's very simple. And you might want to write this down. To manifest, meaning to take a vision, a dream that I have in my heart, and see it happen on the outside world. All that is required is one thing. All that is required is that you feel the feeling of the thing you want as if it is already here without what I call emotional interference. So hear me on this. There is a feeling you would have if the love of your life was here. I'll use crystals. I'm committing to creating the romance of a lifetime. There's a feeling that you would have if you had the romance of a lifetime. If you experienced magical, passionate partnership with your man, I'm just reading some of them. If you met the ideal man for you so you could create the foundation for learning of world peace consciousness. Awesome. There's a feeling that you would have. There's many feelings. But what I teach my clients in Get and Keep Your Man is identifying the core feeling. We do all these exercises to get down to the meat of it. The core feeling that you would have if you were with your man. Now, if you could only focus on that feeling without emotional interference, I'll go deep into the different kinds of emotional interference. You would manifest what you want. How do you know that? Let's say you think of a friend. Oh, it'd be nice to talk to Michelle today. And you have that thought. Have you had the experience of your friend calling you? That's manifesting without emotional experience. So why is it that the things that we don't care about manifest quickly? It's because we don't have any emotional interference in the way. So manifesting simply is, what is the feeling I would have if that thing were already here? And can I focus exclusively on that feeling and not have other feelings come in and compete? Because here's the thing about manifesting. This is why a lot of times affirmations don't work. Esmeralda, you were asking about this. You can say with your words what you want all day long. And you can talk to people, I want it, and you can convince yourself that you're working on your love life. Do you know how many women come my way and tell me, Nicole, I've been working on my love life for so long. Even like I've worked with other coaches, I've been doing it, right? You might be working on it. but you might not be clearing the emotional interference. So what I mean by that is just the pure energy of your desire manifest. How would you feel if you were already married to the love of your life? That pure energy manifests. Whatever you focus on with emotional intensity, you give power to, and that becomes a magnet that draws to you the experience that you want. Most women, though, even though manifesting is really simple, they make it difficult because they don't know how to focus on only one thing. Why? Because all this other stuff gets in the way. So what I had to do for my Tesla, for example, and by the way, you guys, when I have my Tesla, I will definitely let you know. If anybody wants to gift me a Tesla, I will take that gladly too. I'm open to any and all ways of it coming in, and I'm worthy to receive it. But what I had to do with my Tesla to cut the emotional interference was, first I was imagining me driving the car, and that didn't work, right? It didn't work because why? I don't want to take all the work. Now, of course, you guys, I've got to get my driver's license at some point, right? But the feeling is still I don't want to do this. How many of you have the I don't want to do this energy with dating? That's emotional interference. You will not manifest. So I had to get over my energy, right? So I created a vision of me being driven in the car. And I started feeling, what does it feel like when me and Mike and Luke just hop in the car? We do this every morning almost. We go to breakfast. What would I be doing? I'd actually be sitting in the driver's seat. I'd be on my phone, checking Instagram, right? Just chilling with my bag on the floor. I'd be looking back at Luke when he makes noises, right? That would be the feeling of me already having it. And that is a vision with no emotional interference because I'm very comfortable with being driven around in the car. Does that make sense? So some of you are trying to manifest and you're focusing and you're focusing and you're doing it and you're not clearing the emotional interference. So it's not actually manifesting. I want it, but the but wins every single time. So your desire is that you're a clear, I want it. No but. Have you ever noticed those things manifest? This is why you say, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? The things that I don't focus on. If I don't like the guy, he likes me back, right? If I like him, it's a struggle. It's because there's buts. So manifesting is simple. It literally is focusing on the feeling of how you would feel if you already had the thing and giving your emotional energy to that feeling. But then we got to get rid of the interference. So number one, interference. I'm going to share with you 3 things that get in the way. So again, have a pen and a paper because you're going to want to take notes on this. And I am going to take questions, you guys, as well. This is interactive. I'm loving seeing so many of you here. So I'm going to take questions. By the way, if you like this and you're watching, send hearts, like it, share it, please. Let's get this information out there because what I'm committed to is not just being a love coach who just throws information at you that's not helpful. I want to give you the information that's actually going to help you have a breakthrough, okay? So share this if you like it. Let's get this information into the hands of more women. So if you're watching on video, likes, hearts, type your questions in. Hey, Kanat, so glad you're in SoCal. Kanat, I don't even know how long ago it was that we did some work together. Like you were like in the beginning when I first started my coaching business. So much has changed since then. If you're listening on the webcast, you can type your questions in, okay? I'm going to let you know when we're actually taking questions, but if you want to go ahead and type some in, you can. So, first thing that gets in the way. This is what happens in your mind. So, Remember how I said, when I was thinking about the Tesla, my mind starts going, oh, but I'm going to have to go to DMV. I'm going to have to take the permit test. I'm going to have to take a driver's license lesson. So last time, just so you know, hey, Charlene, my driving instructor that I had, I swear to God, you guys, there's something off with this man. And he mentioned me dying, like the 3 times that I was with him. It was so weird. He was like creepy. And then he took out a picture of his mail order like bride and was showing me that. And then he knew that I was a love coach because of my email. Hi, Megan. And he was like creepy. So why am I telling you this? Not to entertain you, because I want you to make a parallel between what I'm explaining in my mind and what happens in your mind that creates emotional interference. What did I just tell you? I want this thing. Here are all the reasons why it feels difficult. And here are negative experiences in the past that are making me not want to do what I have to do moving forward. I had a creepy driving instructor. You guys, this guy was creepy. That's why I stopped going to him, because I was like, he has somehow mentioned the fact that I might die. Me, not even him. The 3 times that I've seen him. Is that different from, now, it's of course, it's not as strong of a degree, but this guy knew where I lived, right? Is that different than, I went on a date online and the guy creeped me out? And sometimes women have crazier stories, right? I attracted a stalker, or my ex-boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. Or the last guy I dated, I'm going to use a client example. You know who you are. I dated him. He didn't want to be committed with me. He said that, you know, he didn't want to do a long distance relationship. And now a year later, I found he did a long distance relationship with someone and got her pregnant. So I don't want to date, right? So what the mind does is it actually creates emotional interference. So you say you want something, and then your mind starts thinking, oh, but it's hard. Oh, but it didn't work in the past. Oh, but it's not working right now. Let me collect evidence from all my past experiences of why I'm not safe in the present. This isn't going to work. I'm not going to have it. Your mind does a lot of crazy things. And here's what I've noticed. Most women do not actually analyze what's happening with their mind in their love life. We just kind of accept it for what it is. And we think it's normal to have a mind that's over analyzing every single thing a guy says or does or you say or do. We think it's normal to have a mind that's going to crazy town. We think it's normal to have a mind that when a new man is in front of you, you're comparing him to past men. We think it's normal to have a mind that when you see somebody getting engaged online, your mind starts comparing you and making yourself feel wrong. We think it's normal to have a mind that operates this way. But you know what? A Course in Miracles says, if you followed me for a while, you know I've studied A Course in Miracles intensively for more than 7 years now. It is a foundation of the love training that I teach. And A Course in Miracles says the thinking of the world is upside down. What does that mean? This thinking isn't normal. A Course in Miracles also says miracles are natural. However, purification is needed to manifest your heart's desires. Again, feel the feeling that you would have if your desire were already satisfied. The hard part is the upside down mind. All of your mind is a problem because the feelings that you feel are a result of what's happening in your mind. So if your mind is going to crazy town all day long, if your mind is comparing yourself to other women and feeling bad and lacking, if your mind is obsessed with an ex from the past, or I've had so much pain and suffering in my love life, I'm not going to go into my whole love story because I think most of you watching know, but you, if not, just know I've suffered tremendously in my love life. So I'm not saying this from a place to minimize what you've experienced. I'm saying this from a place of what works. to manifest. What doesn't work is holding on to the past in your mind. So your mindset determines how you predominantly feel. So if you take out your dating app and your emotion is, ugh, what's wrong with these men? And then your mind goes, I'm never going to find the guy. Or your mind starts criticizing these guys. Or you go on a date and the guy isn't what you want. And your mind goes, see, I'm never going to have it. This is how long I've been single. You know what your mind does. The problem is that creates a feeling. And what happens for most women is their little desire. How I would feel if I had him. Take a moment and do it right now. Everyone who's watching and listening, take a moment and feel the feeling that you would have if your man were already here. And I know some of you watching are in a relationship. In that case, what I recommend is you focus on the thing that you want. So whether it's like we were too super passionate, or he, that man would commit to me, like whatever it is, that's the next thing you want with your man. But everyone feel that feeling. Take a moment. We are powerful women, hundreds of women feeling right now our desires. How would you feel if he was already here? And some of you, if you're listening or watching, you can type that feeling in. Angelica, you will get to ask questions. I'm going to have, after this section, I'm going to have questions, and then I'm going to talk about the next two emotional interference blocks. So, Gail's saying, I'm afraid to get hurt, so I don't let it happen. Yeah, emotional interference. Don't worry, Gail. You're going to get and keep your man. You are fine. So, if you could just feel this, it would manifest. But the problem is, you give a little bit of feeling. Megan's saying, feel simply amazing, that my soul has found peace, a place of contentment. Yes. Gail's saying, I would feel relieved and excited. Suzanne's saying, I would feel confident and relaxed, right? And I know some of you on the webcast, you're also having, you're feeling it, right? So here's the thing. Lisa's saying, I'd feel safe, secure, and chosen. Yeah. Amanda, I would feel joy. It would feel easy. Yeah. These are beautiful feelings. If you could just feel this feeling predominantly, meaning at the end of the day, what's the emotional average? What are you digesting your day to, right? So like the entire day happens. At the end of the day, if you were to measure out all of your emotions, Sherelle saying satisfied, happy, and safe. I believe, Sherelle, you are feeling that a lot of the time. At the end of the day, if your predominant emotion was the one that you'd have if he were here, that's what you would manifest. So the problem is, we're doing these exercises. Yay, I look at my vision board. I wrote my list down. I watched an Abraham Hicks video, right? We're doing those things which help. But we're not watching our mindset to change the thoughts that are producing the negative emotions that then overpower the desire. Is this making sense? Deanna saying, I'm so stuck in anxiety that I'm stopping anything happening with the man. Yes, exactly, right? This is exactly what's happening. And I know some of you on the webcast are typing in, yes, this is happening too. So how do we turn this around? Because your mindset determines what you feel at the end of the day, meaning the thoughts that you allow in your mind. So if you're going online and you're like, all these guys suck, that doesn't have a no neutral feeling. A Course in Miracles says there are no neutral thoughts. So every thought you think, whether conscious or unconscious, is producing an emotion. And you want to manage your thoughts so they produce the emotion that you would need to have in order to feel the desire already manifested. So most women, their feelings about love are all over the place. Megan saying this info is like a treasure box. Yeah, right? That's why I'm glad you're here. So just so you guys know, I literally woke up this morning with this waterfall of information falling all over me. So I set the intention. I've studied myself, and then I've allowed myself to be a channel for the information to come through to you. So I want you to hear me on this. What I'm saying is the truth. Manifesting is easy. Interference is not. Amanda's saying, I can say after Get and Keep Your Man and listening to the calls again, I'm content and joyful and neutral in dating. Plus I attract 1% men now who are high quality. Duh. Yeah, of course, right? You got your energy there. But Amanda's predominant energy used to be fear and anxiety and not chosen and chasing after unavailable men. So here's what I want you to do right now to get the most out of this training. I want you to get real with yourself and ask yourself, what are my predominant emotions in my love life? So you have many different experiences during the day. You have many different thoughts around the day. If we were to go in with a magnifying glass and sort through, okay, you felt this emotion and this emotion and this emotion, and then there's positives and positives and there's negatives and negatives. Where are you averaging at? So what you want to know is, what is the feeling? What are the feelings, right, that I would feel if my desire were already here? And you're going to write those down. And then you're going to write down, what am I predominantly feeling though? So most women, disappointment, doubt, fear, anxiety, insecurity, I'm not chosen, I'm abandoned, I'm rejected, I'm chasing, he's not pursuing me, right? Most women are there. So I used to say I wanted love, but my emotional field was so filled with insecurity. It was glaring out of me. So I didn't manifest what I wanted. You will manifest what your predominant emotions are. Your mindset determines your predominant emotions. So if you're not watching your love mindset to make sure that the thoughts that are going in are producing a net effect of the emotion that you want, you're not manifesting. You're doing emotional interference. Deanna's saying, it's like you're describing me. Yeah. If you're new to me, Deanna, it sounds like you are, go to my YouTube channel. Just Google, put in YouTube, Nicole Moore YouTube. You're going to find so many videos. I promise you, you're going to feel like I get you, because I do. I really do. So mindset is determining your feelings. How do we start turning them around? Well, I have a whole dating methodology that I teach women in my Get and Keep Your Man program. It's called Dating for Growth. Okay. And you know what? It's really kind of tricky at first, and women don't get it at first, and it's the game changer. It's the game changer for women because it has you be in control of your emotional state. So I'm going to break it down a little bit. Now, we have an entire month of training on this. So I'm going to give you the high points, okay? Suzanne's saying worried, undeserving, and lack could be added. Yeah. Women say that all the time. Women say, I want an amazing man. I want an amazing man. But their core emotion is undeserving and lack. That is emotional interference. So Holly's saying, it's the game changer. It changed my life. Yeah, right? Amanda's saying, dating for growth. Took me a while to get it. Yeah. It takes some women a while to get it, but it changes the game. So I think I've posted here a video from a client, Alexis, who literally says, like, she was single for, like, I think it was 10 years, and she met her husband. Now he's her husband within, I think it was 3 months, 2 or 3 months, and it was all dating for growth. So I'm going to break it down just a little bit for you. Here's how most women date. I'm attached to the outcome. I want to find my man. I want the love of my life, right? This is my, Holly saying it took me 9 months to get it. But yeah, but now you have a boyfriend, so it's working out. Anyway, so most women say, I want to find the love of my life, and they hyper attach to that outcome. Okay. So then they're going on a date, or they're introduced to a man, or they look at a guy who doesn't look at them back, and they don't get the result that they want. He doesn't choose them. He doesn't pick them back. He doesn't call them back, or you're getting no dates. And we decide we failed. I go on a date with a guy, and he's not what I want. Or even now, women do this. It's crazy women do this. I'm swiping online, and I'm not seeing guys that I like. And I've decided because of that feedback, I can't find the love of my life. Now we don't even have to go through a negative experience. We can be sitting on our couch and go online. And we as women let the fact that we temporarily don't see guys that we like on an online dating app, we let that move our emotions into disappointment. Are you hearing me? This is emotional interference. Holly's saying, yeah, I have a boyfriend after over 2 years single from dating for growth. So most women let dating make them feel bitter, disappointed, jaded, unloved, undeserving, unwanted, not chosen. That's how most women let dating make them feel. And then they go on to believe that it's just the way it is. So we date reactive to what's happening. Are you hearing me on this? And then we go and talk to our girlfriends about it. And then we talk about how crappy it is. And then we take screenshots of the guy who's sending, dick pics or is crazy messages. And I don't like Rich. If this is a man, I'm going to lovingly say, please rephrase your phrasing. I don't mind that you're here, but this isn't a space to criticize women, okay? So if you're going to be here, you've got to talk positively about women, or else I will lovingly ask you to exit the Facebook Live, because women are not crazy. What we have is we've developed patterns that don't work. And I'm here to help you see the patterns that do work. So what we do, right, is we go, this is the way it is. And then we let the experiences that happen determine how we feel. And then how we feel is what manifests. So dating for growth flips everything on its head. Why? Because when you date for growth, you start with this premise. I can win on every single date. I can win with everything I do. I can win if I have no dates. I can win if I have no men messaging me. I can win if he ghosts me. I can win if the love of my life dumps me. You find a way to leave every single dating experience feeling how you want to feel. That might sound crazy to some of you. It's why it takes some people 9 months to get it, like Holly was saying, right? But some people get it quickly. It all depends on where you're at in the journey. But this is what changes the game for you. And this is what changed the game for me. So how do you do this? Well, here's a fundamental premise of dating for growth that I want to drop in your laps. And it's this, and you might want to write this down. Everything is the manifestation of my man. Everything is the manifestation of my man. Now, here's why this is revolutionary. Most women are not thinking this way. You're saying, I want love, but you let your past dating experience and your present dating experience mean to you, I'm not going to get what I want. And that's the problem. That's the thing that's having you have emotional interference. So when you date for growth, you have to find a way, and we do this in the program over and over and over again until women get it. You have to find a way to make the experience mean what you want. So for example, I am dating and the guy ghosts me. Sherelle saying everything is the manifestation of my mind. Man, yes it is. You're dating and the guy ghosts you. And the mind wants to go to, see, This is why I shouldn't go online. This is why all men suck. This is why I'll never find love, right? It wants to go to that. But if you're dating for growth, you have to find the way to make this experience mean I'm going to find my man. So dating for growth, every experience means I'm going to find my man. You find the way. So if a guy ghosts you, you could say, this is horrible. He's just like every other man. Oh my God, this goes all the way back to my dad abandoning me. I'll never find love. Or you could say, thank God this man was quickly moved out of my reality. Clearly, he's not ready for what I'm meant for. So the universe is lovingly having an unavailable man not even interact with me because it knows that's not what I want. It's protecting me, right? That's an example. But what happens? If you are willing to manage your mindset in this way, your net feeling is positive. Probably saying, when I got ghosted, thank God he filtered him out fast. Yeah, exactly. Amanda's saying, this is so powerful and really changes the emotions attached to it. It's so beautiful to see things this way and exciting to see it coming together instead of falling apart. Yeah. So I want you to write down, everything is the manifestation of my man. And then I want you to ask yourself if after every single dating experience, you could find the way. Now, what I'm sharing with you, it sounds so simple. It's just like manifesting is so simple. It is simple, but in practice, many women experience it as difficult because the emotions are so strong and the mind wants to come in and prove yourself right that you're not going to have the love that you want. So you've got to be vigilant. A Course in Miracles says you must be vigilant against the ego. In other words, you must be vigilant against that fear-based voice. Now, I'm going to take questions in a moment, but I want to talk a little bit about why affirmations don't always work. So again, saying, I am with the love of my life. I am, and I recommend to my clients that they use I am statements. However, saying that enough sometimes doesn't work because for many reasons. The first one is, like my Tesla example. If I just sat there and said, I am enjoying driving my Tesla. I'm enjoying driving my Tesla. The emotional interference of, I don't want to do the work to get my driver's license is getting in the way. So it's canceling out that affirmation. So that affirmation isn't right for me because it isn't addressing the emotional interference. So I would have to use a different affirmation, right? I'm enjoying the feeling of ease of being driven around my Tesla, driven around in my Tesla. I'm enjoying relaxing in my Tesla and feeling the luxuriousness of this vehicle. It's different. No interference there. I can easily picture myself doing that, right? So that's partly why affirmations don't work. But another reason they don't work is because most people don't have personalized affirmations. So I help my Get and Keep Your Man clients create a very personalized affirmation. You saw some of them doing it. And what they do is they create a love affirmation that feels like the truest thing of what they want. And it's personalized to them. And then we go one step further and we supercharge their affirmation with the manifesting energy of me and multiple other women. But most people are using affirmations that haven't been personalized, and so they don't necessarily click. For an affirmation to work, it has to emotionally click. And you just know it by if you feel it. So for example, one of my Get and Keep Your Man clients, Stacy, and I work with her on this. Some of you who are watching know her, right? And she just got married on New Year's Eve, by the way. Some of my clients were actually at her wedding too. I was gonna go, she invited me to go, but I couldn't figure out what to do with Luke, so we didn't go. But she always had men not asking her out after the first or second date. So she was starting to believe, like, maybe guys, I'm just not the relationship girl, right? And so it would be very easy to give her an affirmation. I am fully chosen by relationship-ready men, right? Oh, this is what I think the problem is. Let me go give her this affirmation. But that wasn't the real problem, you guys. So that affirmation wouldn't emotionally click. And so a lot of times, people teach affirmations, of course, because they're trying to teach lots of people at once, right? So they give general affirmations, or sometimes people will say, I will even teach people sometimes, flip your affirmation around, flip your negative belief around, right? And then, just say the positive. A lot of teachers will say to do that. But again, why that doesn't necessarily work is because it's not necessarily emotionally clicking with you. So it would have been easy, like I said, to give Stacy the affirmation of, I'm attracting relationship-ready men. But that didn't work. So when we dug in and we did the work to figure out what was really her emotional interference, hers was, her family had sheltered her a lot of her life. And they had kind of created the belief in her that it wasn't okay to feel a lot of feelings. And so she wasn't really opening her heart to the dating experience. And at the end of the day, she was really afraid of getting hurt and not being able to emotionally handle it, because her family always kind of created this dynamic of like, it's not safe, like, don't take a risk. They over-sheltered her. So while she was attracting in men who didn't want a relationship with her, the affirmation of, I attract relationship-ready men, didn't click. So I actually created an affirmation for her that was, I am willing to experience it all. That might not mean anything to you, but to her, it meant everything, because to her it meant, I am willing to experience whatever emotions come along the way to me meeting my man. And it emotionally clicked with her. And it opened her up so much. An affirmation works when it emotionally clicks and it changes the game for you and you feel this opening. It's not just I'm saying a phrase. It literally is like the right affirmation for you is like a key that unlocks something inside of you, and all of a sudden new energy comes in. So she felt that affirmation, and because there was no emotional interference, it started changing the game for her. And she started attracting in more men that wanted a relationship. And of course, she attracted in an amazing man who proposed, and they're married. So that's the reason affirmations don't work. You have to have an affirmation that's actually personalized to you. Now, sometimes you'll read a book, or you'll hear an affirmation and it just kind of happens to coincidentally click with you. That's when affirmations work. But for most women, we need these personal affirmations that are really the game changer to make the difference. Amanda's saying affirmations are not enough. You still manifest from whatever fear you're holding in your system. Only when you can see it in love, you see it as a good thing. I just had a man who was wonderful move away, and we ended things, but he was doing the right thing because he knows I need a man that's fully present. So instead of seeing it as unavailable man, I see it as, wow, he was loving me and choosing that. And I'm even closer to my man and love is available to me. Yes. I never would have been able to do that before working with you, Nicole. Yeah, that's dating for growth, right? So I'm going to take questions right now on just this piece, on the mindset piece. I have 2 more areas of emotional interference. I told you guys I'm going deep on this love coaching extravaganza and giving you actually what's really going to make a difference for you. So I want to take questions, though, before we go onto that, on what I've shared thus far. So if you have a question and you're listening on the webcast, you've dialed in, you can press *2 to raise your hand. That's going to open you up on the phone line. And I would love to hear from you. I know sometimes people are shy, but if you're listening in, I'd love to hear from you and take your question. So that's *2 if you're listening in on the chat line. I see lots of you there. And if you're listening in on the Facebook group, let me know if you have a question about what I just shared. While you're doing that, I'm going to go to the chat box, Kenneth saying, I love this, Nicole. I just did this for manifesting the right job. I can see the parallels. Yes, you're right on. Thank you. Yeah, so you want to apply that love to your love life. Okay, I'm going to mute an amazing woman here. I know who you are. Angelica, what's your question, love? Oh, mute me on the Facebook. Oopsie. Hey, Angelica, mute yourself on the Facebook and I'll take your question. Mute me on the Facebook and I'll take your question live. Oops. Can you hear me, love? Hey, you have a question? Just turn the volume off on Facebook because I'm hearing myself. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Yes, I can. Can you hear me, love? Love, can you hear me? Angelica? Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next person, Angelica, but type your question into the chat box, okay? So if you are someone who's calling in and you're listening to me, you're watching me on video and you're listening to me live, I think there's a little bit of a delay. So just make sure you're muting me. But I'm gonna unmute in North Dade, Florida. If your phone number starts in 305502, what's your question? Hi. Dating for growth. I also have a video on this in my YouTube channel. Yes, I also have a video on this in my YouTube channel, by the way. But what's your specific question about it? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, well, let's talk about are you willing to talk about some of your interferences that you've noticed? So tell me a little bit about it. Mm-hmm. 1 second, you guys are live. I should actually put this on so you guys can hear me. Line. Sorry, you guys. Okay, go ahead. I realize some might not be listening online, so I've speaker now, so we can hear you on the Facebook too.
So basically, I'm 43. I've never been married. I've had relationships, long-term relationships. I'm a good catch. I'm good looking. I'm smart. I have a good business. I'm a good person. All these things. But I really identify with what you said because I know what gets in the way. So I have the same pattern that repeats, which is the guy's going to leave me. I'm not going to be able to trust him. He's going to cheat. And it's just a matter of time. And he's going to replace me with somebody else. And that happens every single relationship.
Yeah. So what I would say is, yeah. So it sounds like at the end of the day, your feeling is you're going to be abandoned.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. And you felt that feeling for a long time, right? So when you think about, I want to manifest the love of my life, the predominant emotion is, I will be abandoned. And what you're saying is absolutely accurate. You are manifesting. You're manifesting on top of your predominant feeling, right? Which is abandonment. So I'm willing to bet that abandonment started when you were a child. Is that correct? Yeah. So that's what you have to do. And that's actually the second piece of healing the emotional blocks. So you can work on this in your mind. So mindset is one piece, right? So in your mindset, you want to look at all your limiting beliefs that say you're going to be abandoned. And then you want to create that affirmation that clicks. So for abandonment, it's feeling safe. It's always that. people who are abandoned, they resonate with love that lasts. Going to have something in it. All the people who have unavailable and abandonment, I have them do a personalization and forever. It has to last. It's so important for that to there. So, love that lasts.
Yeah, I kind of put that in there. I did throw that in there.
Yeah, always. I know my unavailable ladies. You have to have it in there, right? So what I want you to do is write down love that lasts. Write down forever love. Mine was, by the way, I'm a great love without question. That was mine. You can write that down too. Love that feels fully safe. Or even like being held in the arms of, her forever man. What you want to do is like write down kind of all the iterations of that. Like, like if you were to try and find a word and you go in the thesaurus, right? You want to do this for your affirmation. And some of them are going to feel more emotionally resonant than others. And that's part of how you start to find the actual words to use. Usually it's... Yeah, you're going to have the emotional click. But then to heal the abandonment, that has to do with the inner little girl work. So like my client Amanda is saying, yep, Amanda is experiencing true love that lasts because her thing was unavailable men. Yeah, all my unavailable ladies, you just throw that in there. It's something around the love lasting. That's the piece that's the most important thing to you. But then for you that's the affirmation. But then you have to deal with the emotional piece, which I'm going to talk about next. Okay? Great question, though. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to mute you. I'm going to go to the Facebook. So I hope you guys on Facebook, I didn't realize that some of you would not be hearing the audio. Forgive me, this is the first time I'm doing this. Vidya is saying, how can I determine my affirmation? You have that, love. It's from the manifesting candle exercise in Get and Keep Your Man. So you have that one. Go back to that one. If it doesn't feel like it's clicking anymore, post that in the Facebook group because there's got to be some reason why it's not emotionally clicking, and we'll handle that for you. Okay? Jenny's saying, I was listening, taking notes, but missed something. There are 3 ways of interference. The buts, the negative experiences. Okay, so that all goes into the mindset. So we're still in the mindset piece, Jenny. So the buts and the negative experiences, all of that is within the realm of your mind going, I want it, but, or I'm focusing on the negative experiences. So we haven't focused on the other 2 yet. Okay, Angelica, I'm going to try and unmute you now because you're saying you're here, but you got to raise your hand again, love, because I don't see you live anymore on the phone line. In the meantime, I'm going to, oh, this is you. I forgot you have that weird name, right? Hey, I can. What's your question, love?
I was like, hi, I can't figure this out. I was like on the webcast and Facebook and not Soulmate. Okay, so I guess, my question is, I've been following you for like over about a year and a half now, and I feel like in 2017, I went on over 200 dates. And that was all because of you, because before that, I didn't go on any dates for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
awesome.
So, I guess I'm in a place where I feel like I've really been dating for growth. Like I still journal like every time I go on a date and like think about what can I appreciate about this person. And so I'm doing all these things and I'm like, okay, for 2018, I just turned 28 this last week. And I guess I just feel like what can I do differently? I feel like I'm in the right energy. And I feel like I'm, still dating a lot, but it's just still not going anywhere. Or I guess I just haven't met the right match yet.
Yeah.
But
So,
I've heard a lot.
yes.
So I'm just wondering,
So I've heard you, and this is a common, right? You're doing this work, and then there's those finer little pieces. So so this is, I know you've done MAB, and you didn't do Get and Keep Your Man, but you've been working it, right? So you go on the dates, you date for growth, you learn the process, and then there's those finer little pieces. So for example, I manifested all this stuff and I had great experiences in my love life, and then I was ready to meet my man, and then I had to face this piece of, I had a little bit of a but of how am I going to live with someone, and there was a fear around that, right? And so I had to handle that. So when you're in this place where you've already dated, you've done the growth, then you want to look at those buts, okay? And for every single but, you have to find the way around that in your mind, because again, your mind's what determines your feelings. So I had this thought in my mind of, well, you know, I'm a great catch. I did all the work, right, that I teach you guys to do to feel positive and confident and all that. But then I just had this thought of, how am I going to live with someone? And am I going to be able to do the daily things that you have to do in a relationship, like clean up after myself, because I'm a very messy person, right? And that thought was creating emotional interference. But really underneath it was, it's dangerous, because it seemed like a little but underneath it was this fear of me not being able to be exactly who I am and be accepted, right? So the buts, you want to look at them and find them, because they're giving you information about what those deeper emotional blocks are. So, and you can always trace it back to your core wounding, right? Mine is not good enough, all that. So I had to find a way to work my mind around that. And I had to prove to myself, well, I am the kind of woman that can handle the day-to-day, but then I had to get my mind around the fact that I could be accepted. Now, it might sound like a little thing, right? Like, I can find a man who accepts me even if I'm messy. But as you know, but some of you might not know, I had an ex that criticized me very intensely for being messy and told me, you're too messy, no man's going to want to be with you. And every time I spilled something or whatever, he would criticize me. So why am I sharing this? Emotional interference, right? Evidence. So I had to get my mind around, I can be accepted as I am. I had to accept myself for that. And so there wasn't a conflict anymore, because my mind believed it was possible to attract in a man who accepted this quality in me. And my mind also believed I can handle it. Like, I really felt like I could, because I had a lot of long distance relationships too. And I was telling myself the story of, maybe you're just good in short bursts, but maybe you can't handle the longevity. And so I had to convince myself of that. And once I did, I didn't feel emotional interference anymore. And then I was free. And then, as you know, I manifested a man who says, of course you're messy, Nicole. You're a creative genius. So what I want you to do, Angelica, is you've done so much work, do this work. I want it, but. And you got to figure out all those buts. And then you got to investigate those. They seem like little buts, but they're really pointing to those core wounds. And you have to do the work to turn it around.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just like, I'm in a place where I'm like, I feel really ready for my partner, and I'm like, I don't want to go on 200 dates again this year. It's like, yes, I learned a lot, it was great, but like,
yeah.
You know, I'm just like,
okay, but watch out for that, right? Because that's I don't want to be doing that. Maureen's saying, you seem to be pushing up your glasses a bit. Have you thought of contacts? I would love to wear contacts. I developed an allergy in my eyes, and that's why I wear my glasses all the time. I push my glasses up all the time. My mom comments on that. Sorry. Just getting distracted by the video comments. So, love, don't be in this energy of, I don't want to go on the dates. That's like, I don't want to take the permit test to do my Tesla. You have to find your way around that. So you have to have a vision that is something different that negates that emotional interference. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm fine going on dates. I guess it's just this question of like, oh, do I really need to go on like 200 more dates this year?
No,
like, you know,
you don't.
I literally dated so much last year.
Yeah, you don't. But you wanna. But I can hear that you need to. You're in a positive place, but there's still this energy of ugh. So, you know, I would recommend you spring clean. That's an exercise we teach in Get Keep Your Man and Man Attraction Bootcamp for those of you who don't know what it is. Spring clean a little bit on your past 200 dates, and then you have to stop saying I went on 200 dates. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome, love.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Great question. All right, guys, I hope those questions were helpful for you. So, by the way, on a positive comment on my appearance, I know you weren't trying to be negative, Maureen. You were just asking a question. Angelica saying, just want to say, Nicole, you look so radiant and gorgeous. Love your hair and makeup. For those of you who like my hair and makeup, especially this glowy look, I have a video on this called Goddess Beauty Secrets that some of you may have received via Black Friday or as a bonus for Get and Keep Your Man. So watch that if you haven't already. Okay, so Vidya, it's not clicking. It seems like words right now. Go in the Get and Keep Your Man Facebook group and post that and we'll help you. So mindset, to recap, interferes with your ability to manifest, because what it does is, instead of having a very clear and strong signal, I'm just feeling the feeling of what it would feel like if my man were here. Instead of having a very clear signal, your mind comes up with all this crap and fear and the past and blah, 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 and I'm afraid of the future, and that creates emotional interference. So of isn't strong enough. Instead, our feeling is disappointment, abandonment, insecurity, all of that. We're going to go deeper, because have you ever asked yourself why? Why does your mind make up the things that it does? Why, when you are ghosted, does your mind say, I'm not good enough? I've been rejected. Have you noticed that not everybody has the same things in their mind? Many women do, because you have the same core emotional patterns. So the next block to manifesting what you want is these core emotional wounds that we have to clear. So here's how it works. When you are a child, you experience pain in your love life, right? Like the woman who did the Q&A, she's been abandoned her whole life, but it started somewhere. So whatever you experience in childhood, there's these core emotional wounds. I call them love cracks. Something happens that's very painful. And it doesn't have to be something big. Like it doesn't have to be, my dad abandoned me, my mother abused me, I was molested. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's like, one of my love cracks was, I think I was in the third grade or something like that. And I don't remember exactly, or maybe fifth grade. And there was a party at my house and we were doing like spin the bottle and 7 minutes in heaven. And like I landed on one of the boys and we went in the bathroom and he wouldn't kiss me or do anything. It was like he was disgusted, right? Now that's not, you might not think it's traumatic, like, being beaten, but it had an emotional impact. So we have these moments where we have what I call love cracks. And in that moment, we experience a tremendous amount of pain. And what happens is, in order to navigate that pain and make it even just a little bit better, what our mind does is it decides something. And what it decides is then the feedback loop that keeps playing in our head moving forward. So for example, I will be abandoned. Love equals criticism. So I had that love crack. When I was a child, I experienced my parents, especially my dad, criticizing me or laughing at me when I couldn't do something. So as a child, I developed a belief that it was normal to be criticized by somebody that I loved. So is it any wonder that I ended up in a relationship with somebody who would criticize me for being messy? So we develop these love cracks, and the important thing for you to know is your mind makes up a tape, and we all have multiple tapes, but to find out what your tapes are, all you have to do is live your dating life. I recommend, if you're not already online, go dating, go online dating. You'll figure out what your love cracks are right away. Sabrina's saying it's late in Europe. Will the recording be available tomorrow? Yes, that is entirely possible, but I don't want to promise that. But if you're sleepy, go to sleep, love. Don't worry about it. So, love cracks happen. Mind determines something. Then moving forward, when you have an experience in your love life, your mind replays the tape. Now, the problem is, as I said, the mental patterns determine the net emotional feeling. So, number one, it's critical to understand, right? What are the emotional interferences? But then you want to think about, what is my mind actually thinking and why? If I'm going to crazy town, like I used to not be able to sleep at night if a guy didn't text me back, and I had intense anxiety. But we don't have the feeling without the thought. So my thought, like I literally thought I was not safe without these people's love. So you want to go back to the thought. And then you have to heal the initial incident that created that thought, because when you go back and heal it and you heal your timeline, you stop having the same emotional experiences. Or what's actually more true is you don't stop having the experiences necessarily. You stop reacting to them in the same way, and then they stop. So how do you stop attracting an unavailable man? How do you stop being abandoned? How do you stop being rejected? How do you stop being ghosted? How do you stop being ignored? How do you stop being cheated on? How do you stop those things? It's not by sitting there and going, I am attracting emotionally available men. It's not just by that. It's by when the experience happens, you respond emotionally in a different way. And then the experience happens, and then you respond emotionally in a different way. And then you are actually different. Then you've proved you're different. And then the equation changes. So for example, I believe love equals criticism. That was one of my biggest love cracks. And I was in a relationship with somebody who criticized me. And while I was in that relationship, I was perpetuating that pattern. I wasn't actually being different, even though I wanted something different. And so it stayed. Then I left that relationship. But leaving the relationship wasn't the thing that stopped the pattern from happening. I had to attract in some instances after that and then be different in them. So I, for example, attracted in somebody who seemed really great, and then he made kind of like a little critical comment about my hair. And I had to respond differently in that moment. So old Nicole would have felt like, oh my God, I might lose love. Let me change myself. Let me fix myself. But instead, I didn't keep dating that person. I actually had a conversation with him, a very emotionally mature conversation about how his comment made me feel. I gave him a little bit more chance. And then when I felt it wasn't a match, I left. Or when you attract unavailable men over and over again, but then finally something shifts within you where you respond differently. Or the guy doesn't call you back. And for the first time ever, you don't go into the emotional spin of I'm not good enough. You're showing yourself you're different. And then you feel different. Remember, the key to manifesting is feeling. And then when you feel different, you manifest in something different. Are you hearing me? I want to see comments. I want to know that you're here with me. So what you have to do is watch your mind and then ask yourself, why am I thinking this specific thing? When is the first time that I can remember thinking this? I'm not good enough. I'm not chosen. I'm not worthy. I'll always be abandoned. I'll always be hurt, etc. You have to go back to that. And then you have to find the love crack. And then you have to heal that in that moment. So the only way I can describe it is, like, if your father abandoned you, you have to get to the point where you no longer feel abandoned. No matter what happened in the past, you feel differently today. That is true healing. And when you have that true emotional healing, that's when the game shifts. Does that make sense? So I want to know if you have questions about this specific piece. So basically, the number 2 block to manifesting is you have these core emotional wounds, these core emotional love cracks that are not healed yet. And so when an experience happens, you respond in the same way emotionally as when you were a kid. So your dad abandoned you, a guy ghosts you, and you feel tremendously abandoned. You were criticized as a child, a man criticizes you, and instead of standing up for yourself or leaving, you kind of get hooked in and stay because that feels like comfort. So healthy, mature relationship as an adult, epic love relationship, what will create epic love in 2018 is when you stop responding to things in your love life with the same feelings as the wounded little girl. Only when that happens are you actually in a position to manifest something different. Until that happens, you will see yourself over and over and over and over, painfully over and over again, attracting in the same thing. Amanda's saying, happy now I'm on the right track to changing my response. Yeah, exactly, Amanda. You had this guy who was amazing in so many ways. I mean, really a catch. He just got traded, right? And he wasn't going to be there. And you're not responding as if you were abandoned, and you're not feeling you need to chase after him. Your man is next. I promise you that. I would bet money on that your man is the next thing coming because you've shown yourself you are different. Saying, Nicole's giving you her quality coaching here that you get as a client. Yeah, I really am. That's the thing. I'm really giving you the real truth, you guys. Suzanne's saying, I have a feeling these love cracks show up in daily life, not just with men. Yeah. Another way they show up is with money, you guys. It's the same thing. Stephanie's saying, I love how you taught me I don't have to keep repeating my story. Yeah. We can choose to find evidence for whatever story we're telling ourselves. I now look for evidence that quality men are coming into my reality. Yeah. Yes, they are. So does anybody have a question on this specific thing? Love cracks. I'm looking at a question on the chat box on the webcast saying, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I think it's Shalway. My ex lied I was not faithful in the past. He wanted to get back, even though I don't talk with him at all. I realized that I'm hesitating, and that with the hesitation thought, what value will he add to my life now? The feeling I want is intimacy. What do you recommend for me to do in my love manifestation? Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you, okay? As someone who experienced a relationship with someone who cheated and then tried to be with them, I found it incredibly painful because my mind kept going back to what previously happened, and then I was feeling those feelings. So I was with someone and I was feeling like I was with a cheater and somebody who was unsafe. So I actually had a really hard time in that. But now I will say this, the person I was with didn't really stop cheating. So it was like my intuition the whole time was screaming at me. And I'm like, why can't I fully feel safe with him again? So what I would say is you've got to really feel into love. Does he actually feel different now? And can you stay in the present and not go in the past? Don't go back in a relationship with him if you know you cannot control your mind to not keep referencing the past. And, I don't know too many women that can do that, honestly, I don't know too many women who can, when they've been hurt in that way, stay present. But if you can, then you have a chance. So in terms of manifesting intimacy, what I would recommend you do is you think about if you were to have intimacy with your man, don't do it with your ex, just do it in general. Think about one specific moment that to you would kind of categorize the feeling of intimacy. So maybe it's like, you just had sex or made love and your head is on his chest and you're looking in his eyes and he's stroking your head and he says, I love you, right? Maybe that's intimacy to you. Maybe intimacy to you is like you're up until 4 a.m. in the morning laughing and talking, and you just feel like you're incredibly close. Like you want to think about an experience in the future, you haven't had it yet, that to you would kind of define that feeling of intimacy. And you want to imagine that as if it's real. That's how you manifest. Charlene saying, oh my OMG, yes, thank you so much. You're welcome. Sabrina saying, this makes so much sense. I notice that when something bad happens with a man, I feel even more connected to him. Now I know what it is, a familiar feeling, and I get attached. Yeah. We got to clear that for sure. Okay, so I don't see any questions on the live, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the third thing now. Before I do that, you guys, I do want to say, I believe my assistant April is telling me the link is broken, so that might be the case or not, but if you can see above this Facebook Live, if you're watching on Facebook, I did post a video where I interviewed my client Alexis on Get and Keep Your Man and what I helped her with. So I recommend you watch that video, and if you're interested in learning more about Get and Keep Your Man, there's a link in there for you to book a call to hear more. So very briefly, before we go into the third manifestation block, what Get and Keep Your Man is, for those of you who are interested, is a training program where I give you everything you need to manifest your man, and I help you clear the emotional interference. So in the first month of that program, for example, we're focusing on your mindset. We have an entire month of training on dating for growth. Why did I put dating for growth first in my program? Because as many women have said on this live stream, by the way, I didn't know they were going to be on the live stream saying this. I didn't ask them to do that, but it's the game changer. Because when you change what's in your mind, you change what you predominantly feel. And what you predominantly feel is what you manifest. It's like Sabrina said. She feels this weird emotional attachment with men who aren't really safe when something bad happens. And so she keeps attracting that over and over again. It's not what you say you want that you manifest. It's what you predominantly feel that you manifest, okay? So we spend an entire month on your mindset in that program, and I show you how to date for growth. So how you feel when you're dating is like you're winning, like you're getting there, like everything is the manifestation of your man. In month 2, we spend an entire month on healing your love cracks. Why? Because until those are healed, you repeat the same patterns in your love life over and over and over again. You won't attract an unavailable man if your love crack is abandonment until you heal this. You won't attract in the love of your life who adores you if your love crack is I'm not good enough until you heal it. So we heal that. And then in month 3, I teach you how to manifest. Why? Because manifesting tactics do not work if you have emotional interference in the way. So if you're interested in learning more about that program, check out the video. I have 2 links above, one for a video of my client who actually did the program. One's on a webinar, and I think there are links to talk to me in there as well. Okay, so you can also email love@loveworksmethod.com if you want more info. Now I'm so conscious, you guys, of myself pushing my glasses up over and over again. Now that someone said something about that. By the way, Maureen said it. By the way, speaking of manifestation, you guys, if you all know of something that's not LASIK, that's another surgery to help your eyes, then let me know, because I can't do LASIK. So I'm currently manifesting exactly what you said, Maureen, a way for me to get eye surgery but I can't do LASIK. Someone's saying, I love your mug. Yeah, it says, live a pineapple life. Be sweet on the inside, stand tall, and wear a crown. Okay, so now number 3. And this is the thing that everyone thinks it is. Angelica's saying, I love you with glasses, don't get contacts. Thanks so much, love. I actually like myself with glasses too. The reason I want to get contacts is because a lot of times in videos, the light shines on my glasses, and you can't always see my eyes. And I'd love for people to actually get to see my eyes. Candace is saying, it seems the negative reaction and feeling is automatic in regards to the love crack. So do you acknowledge it showing you up and start manifesting the feeling you want in its place? How do you get rid of it when it's involuntary? That is such a good question. And it is involuntary at first. You're absolutely right about that. I used to feel like a crazy person in my love life, and it didn't feel like I had control. And it was literally like all this negativity and fear washed over me. And I felt like I was this different person. And I would just like send like crazy emails or texts. And then I'd be like, oh my God, what did I do? So awareness is the first step, Candace. That's why I'm asking you to do this work. If you want to learn more about how to heal the love cracks, honestly, check out Get and Keep Your Man, because we talk about it in there. But for you right now, awareness is the first step. So once you understand what the patterns are, you're not going to be as automatic, or you might do it, but then you're going to reflect later and you're going to say, I don't want to. And that almost that pain is going to actually make you want to shift. So you want to start breathing, and you want to remember that you have a choice. So something else that I teach my clients is what I call emotional fitness. It's the ability to feel a trigger and not act on that trigger. So when you feel that feeling coming up, you want to tell yourself, I'm being triggered here. What's happening isn't real. It's an illusion caused by this trigger. And instead of taking a action, you want to just breathe and let the feeling run all the way through you. And you're going to feel like you want to die, but you're not going to die. So the action is you identify, the feelings that come up. Like, okay, when I'm feeling like crazy anxious, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to send the text. I'm not going to take the action. And then you are willing to feel the feeling in that moment. And that should start to help it dissipate. Tracy's saying, are you still doing your live workshop in San Diego? When is it again? What will we learn there that is different from what your other offerings are? Yes, I am still doing it. So for those of you who don't know, I am having a 2-day live event in San Diego, February 10th and 11th. So how it's different, it's incredibly different because you're going to be in person with me live. So as you know, you get a powerful energy from being with me live on video and audio. It's not like being with me in person. There is a different energy. There's a different transmission. At the event, I'm going to be doing live hot seats. So you might get the chance to actually get coaching with me live in person there. I'm going to be channeling. I'm going to be giving you divine downloads. I'm going to be really present in this super powerful, amazing love energy for you to have a breakthrough. In terms of the content, day 1 is going to be on manifesting. Obviously, I can't go as deep on this extravaganza. We're going to go deep, and I'm actually going to give you exercises to manifest. Day 2 is going to be about the love blocks and actually clearing them. So you will experience some of my manifesting exercises that help you meet your man. You'll also experience getting to be with me in person to do some of the exercises that I teach to clear the emotional interference. And it's incredibly special to be with me in person. So if you're here, if you're interested in that, I would jump on getting a ticket. Someone's saying, try out foam pads for your glasses. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to get to the third thing. So here's another block. It's action or lack thereof. So to manifest, what's required is to feel the feeling of your desire, already manifest, right? Without emotional interference that comes from a faulty mindset and an emotional system that's negatively attuned to past experiences. So manifesting is simple. Things that block it are your mindset going continuously to doubt, it's not going to happen, lack, insecurity, all of those things. Second block, love cracks. Unhealed experiences from your past that cause you to react and get triggered and respond as if you're still that wounded little girl instead of an empowered woman. Those two things create a ton of emotional interference. So your love desire doesn't have the room to manifest. It doesn't have the power to manifest. And then we have the action. So I find most women are either taking too much of the wrong kind of action or they're not taking enough action. So here's what I mean by that. Some women are afraid they're not going to get their desire. They're operating on these love cracks. And so they just go out and they take a bunch of action. They take a ton of dates. They try and fix themselves. They try and make it happen. They go on a bunch of dates, but they don't get their result because the energy with which they took the action is still from the place of limit and lack and I'm not good enough. So if you go out there and you go on, and Angelica, you didn't do this, but let's just say you go on 200 dates. You didn't do this though. I know you did it from a good energy, but you go on 200 dates. I've had clients that have gone on 100 dates, 200 dates, but you're doing it because you think that you have to, and if you don't, you're not going to get your result, and the energy is I'm scared, and I'm not going to get it. That's what you manifest. So I'm going to give you a personal example from my love life. It's from my life. It's not a dating example, but it so clearly illustrates this point. So when I was pregnant with my son, Luke, I thought, I wanted to have a natural birth. I live in Encinitas, California. For those of you who don't know, it's like a pretty spiritual place. I'm very spiritual. So there's all this messaging about having a natural birth. Some of you who've already had births are probably like, that's crazy. If you've gone through it, if you're the ones that have experienced pain, you're probably like, what? And when I would tell some women who had wanted to have a natural birth that had kids, they would tell me like, just get the epidural, So all I can say is this. When I was pregnant, I worked on having a natural birth. For those of you who can't see me on the video, I'm putting it in quotation marks because that's not what I had. But I worked on it for hours a day. I went to multiple birthing classes. I hired 2 birthing coaches. I was doing affirmations daily. It was like a full-time job, you guys. On top of me working a ton in my business and all of that, it was like a full-time job, because I was trying to have a natural birth. And that might sound beautiful, but the honest truth is the energy was coming from a place of fear. So long story short, when I was born, I was 3 months premature. I weighed 3 pounds. I'm a twin. My mom went into labor early. And according to her, the doctor told her, do not get attached to these children. They are going to die. That's my mom's story. And she took that very literally. And for those of you who know my story, my parents didn't say I love you to me until I was in my mid-20s. I never heard it. And I didn't experience feeling loved. And the story from my mom still is to this day, you were premature. The doctor told me you would die. I couldn't get attached to you. She literally, I was just at her house a week and a half ago, and she told the story to Mike, my husband, and she said, the words out of her mouth were, I never was able to bond with my children because of the birth. So why am I telling you this? I had that in my head. So I had a desire for a beautiful natural birth with my son because I wanted the feeling of closeness with him. And from what I had studied, what, people were saying was the best way to have that feeling of closeness is to have a natural birth, because then you feel all the endorphins and everything. So it seems like a beautiful desire, right? Just like I want to be the love of my life. But the energy that was running underneath it all was, I'm afraid that if I don't have a natural birth, I'm not going to be able to bond with my son, and he's going to suffer the same thing that I did. So I was working hours a day. I'm not kidding you. On top of all the work that I do for my company. It was a full-time job. Thinking I was trying to manifest a natural birth, but there was fear energy, and I was working on clearing the fear. What happened was I ended up having a C-section after 7 hours of very painful labor, and then 8 more hours in the hospital trying to open up, whatever. It wouldn't open up. And so we had to actually end up going to a C-section because Luke's heart rate was starting to drop. And so I didn't get to hold him right after he was born. But luckily, I got to hold him. He actually had to go to the NICU for a little bit, not because he was too little, but because of his blood sugars. But I got to hold him 2 days afterwards, and I felt like this incredible love feeling. And I'm very happy to report that my feeling of connection with my son is not diminished in any way. Like, I'm so bonded to him. But I use this example because I was trying to manifest a specific outcome. But what manifested in my experience wasn't that. You hear what I'm saying? I thought about your mom's doctor telling that when you mentioned the driver instructor. Interesting. So many women in their love life, they mean it. They want it. They're taking action. They're like, yes, I'm doing it. If you would have asked me when I was pregnant, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking the action. I'm manifesting my natural birth. I didn't realize until afterwards that the fear was controlling my actions, and therefore, to a certain extent, was determining the result. So you may have been acting in your love life and taking a lot of action. Sometimes my clients even do this, and it takes a lot of work for me to get them out of this fear-based place. But where are you taking your actions from? Are you going on a date because you feel so certain that you will meet the love of your life, that you're just like, I'm such a yes to going on these dates because I know it's only a matter of time before I meet him? Or are you taking action because you're terrified that you're not going to get your result? Hear me on this, because I know it to be true because I experienced it with my birth. If you're taking action, even massive action, to get to a result, but the underlying energy is, I don't want this thing to happen. I'm taking action because I don't want to end up single. I'm taking action because I don't want to be alone. You perpetuate that. Suzanne's saying, so I see that avoidance of a perceived outcome can be a powerful interference. Yes, instead of focusing on the desired feeling, focusing on the must of the outcome. Thank you for sharing this experience with us, Nicole. It's beautiful that you discovered this through the process of giving birth to your son. Yeah, it is. So this is what I mean, you guys. I study love every single day. If you could see inside my mind, what you would see is that it's always looking for the lessons in love. My clients know this because I talk about The Real Housewives a lot, because I actually watch The Real Housewives proudly. I will tell them about lessons that I learned about love from that show, because my mind, over the past 10 years, I have attuned my mind to understand love. So that's why I can process experiences in this way. It's part of what I teach in Get and Keep Your Man. So I want you to ask yourself, are you taking actions from fear, or are you taking actions from love? It is only actions taken in love that result in what you want. And sometimes you have like half and half. Like, obviously, I still got to experience with my birth when they put Luke in my arms, and he felt so little and so vulnerable, and I just felt this overwhelming rush of love, and actually felt the feeling that I wanted to feel, that I thought I would get from a natural birth, which is another manifesting secret, right? You can get the feeling experience of what you want, but it doesn't always look like how you think it's going to come. But I believe the reason that I was able to have that is because while a huge portion of me was underneath it all focused on fear, there was also a part of me that was really focused on love when I was with him. So it was like a little bit more fear So I believe that's the reason I had, the C-section and all that. But there was still so much love that I got what I wanted. So that's interference number 1. Now here's interference number 2 in regards to action. Not taking any. So this is the person that goes, I'm not going to go date until I have XYZ in order. I can't date right now because I'm working on my business. I don't have pictures for my online dating profile. You're just not dating. You're not out there. You're not risking. So I want to show you a quote from Rumi that I came across that I really, really, really love, that perfectly kind of illustrates this point, because here's what I believe. Love rewards risk takers. Love rewards the people that are willing to say, even though I am afraid, I'm going to act anyway. So this is a poem from Rumi. And here's what it says. Gamble everything for love. If you are a true human being, I'm sorry, I'm going to say that again. Gamble everything for love if you are a true human being. If not, leave this gathering. Half-heartedness doesn't reach into majesty. You set out to find God, but then you keep stopping for long periods at mean-spirited roadhouses. Don't wait any longer. Dive into the ocean. Leave and let the sea be you, silent, absent, walking on an empty road. All praise. So this is by Rumi. It's called Gamble Everything for Love. And if you didn't understand that, because sometimes it can be a little confusing, I'm going to break down for you what he's saying. What book is that? It's a poem called Gamble Everything for Love. So what he's saying is, love is why you're here. Love is why you're here, right? When he says reach God, I think reach love. And so if you're not willing to risk and take action to find it, then what are you doing? So what's an example of a risk? The example I always use is me moving to San Diego. And not everybody has to take this big of a risk. For some people, it feels like a huge risk to put up an online dating profile. But what's the thing that you haven't been risking and therefore not taking action? So I moved to San Diego only knowing one person here. But the reason I did it is because I had a deep feeling in my heart that the love of my life was in San Diego. Well, was in California specifically. And I wasn't taking action. And I was saying, remember your words, I want love, I want love, I want love. But my emotions were, I'm afraid. I was afraid to move to California because I didn't have a driver's license, still don't. I was afraid about money. I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not going to be able to handle it. I don't know people there. There were so many things that I was afraid of. And when finally I got that love wouldn't come to me if I wasn't willing to risk to it, I moved. And very shortly thereafter, I met my husband, Mike. So it doesn't always have to look like a big move from New York City to San Diego. But if you don't have the love that you want, I want you to ask yourself this. Are there certain actions that I know if I take them, they're going to open up the way for me, but I'm not taking them because I'm afraid. So what Rumi's saying is there's no room for half-heartedness in majesty. What does that mean? Because you want a man to treat you like a queen and you want a king. There's no room for this heart that's so afraid to risk in epic love. So for some of you, that risk is putting up an online dating profile. For so many of you watching, you guys, this is the truth. Your risk is just signing up to work with me and letting go of the story of, I don't have the money, or whatever your story is. Those of you who have been following me for years, I'm real with you on this. Take the risk. It's worth it. But for some of you, it's letting go of an ex, letting go of a relationship, right? But I want you to ask yourself, what is the risk that I've been unwilling to take? And then I want you to ask yourself am I willing to take that? Because big love rewards big risk. So the second block is not taking action at all. Some people take over action out of fear, and some people don't take action because they're trying to stay safe in their comfort zone instead of taking a risk for love. Does that make sense? So I want to see now, as we're getting, I can't believe we've been on for an hour and 45 minutes, you guys. Doesn't feel that long to me, but I want to see if there's any other questions. And while we're doing that, I wanted to read you guys. Holly let me know that I could share this. So this is an example of what's possible when you let go of your emotional interference. And I'm going to read her words, and then I'm going to tell you why this is an example of what I've shared, okay? So let me read Holly's words. Hi, Nicole. And by the way, the subject line is, I love getting emails like this from my clients because it's always like, I have a boyfriend. I met him. Like, those are the best emails. So in all caps, like, I have a boyfriend. It says, hi, Nicole. Exciting news. I have a boyfriend. I met him online and we met in person. And ever since we've been seeing each other consistently. And last night he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I said, yes. It was so sweet how he asked. The whole courtship has been wonderful and such a contrast to all previous experiences, including this guy that I was seeing at the end of Get and Keep Your Man. She did Get and Keep Your Man. This is why I say, you guys, for those of you who did Get and Keep Your Man, I'm like, you're going to be emailing me that you have a boyfriend. If you didn't meet your man in the program, I just wait for this email because I know it's happening. But anyway, Holly says, we've integrated into each other's lives seamlessly. He values and respects me so much. He says I inspire him. I feel seen for my true self like I never have before. And I know it's because I finally see my true amazing self. There's a sense of ease and flow with Paul. By the way, Holly's, one of her words that she really focused on, how she would feel when she met her man, was comfortable. And now she's saying, I feel ease and flow with him. So can you see what's happening? It's a manifestation. So she says, he's wonderful. He treats me like a queen. I met his mom and dad yesterday. He's someone who's ready and excited to go all in with me. We have developed a true emotional connection and bond. I'm just paraphrasing because it's kind of long. It's clear how every bit of growth over this journey has had its purpose and how it's all made me primed and ready to receive him and appreciate what a good match is with him. Now, I want you to hear this. After I ended things with Mike, that's the guy she was seeing before, I did not quit. In fact, I downloaded a new random dating app, and that's where I met him 2 days later. And a few days before I met him in person, I had the worst date I've had this whole year, but it didn't stop me. I kept going. Are you hearing these words? In addition, I love how I'm focusing on enjoying the present moment and not future tripping. I've had some judgment on him and where he's at in her sense, career and financial. But when I re-listened to one of her calls, she's talking about the Get and Keep Your Man training on ego, I saw how that was coming from judgment of myself, and it helped me break through it. I'm not feeling like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm feeling like, of course this is happening because of all the intentional effort I put into it. So excited to see what unfolds. Thanks for everything, Holly. So why am I sharing this with you? Do you see what she said? I did not quit. In other words, when a negative experience happened, because she was dating for growth, the net emotion she felt wasn't disappointment. Now, Holly knows this. When I first met her, I literally told her, Holly, your energy is like Eeyore because it's so negative and depressing. Those of you who don't know what Eeyore is, just imagine someone who's like, it's never happening for me. Like, that was her energy. And any little experience that happened in her love life, she kept going to this down, depressed, negative place. But she could have one of the worst days of her life happen. And because she had this emotional fitness and no emotional interference that I've been talking to you about, this whole love coaching extravaganza, her energy was still in the place to manifest her man. So this is such a perfect example. This is such a Michelle saying, yay, Holly. I know. Aren't you happy for Holly? Michelle's a coach in the program. So that's why she's saying it. And any of my Get and Keep Your Man clients who are watching this, you're on the path. Rachel has a question now. So I'm going to take a couple of questions. If you have questions, you can press *2 to get your question live, or you can type on the chat box before we wrap it up. Rachel, once you've attracted a guy in, how do you know if he's the one? I'm facing this at the moment. I've done much of what you recommended, really got excited about meeting someone, and now I've met the sweetest, calmest guy who's clearly interested in me. I really don't want to keep dating. I just want to focus on him. Is there a risk in doing this? I have a video on this, Rachel, on my YouTube channel. It's called, some of my clients would probably know this better than me. Go to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and type in Nicole Moore Love. And search the videos there. I have a video on, if it's not how to tell if he's the one, it's something like that. There's another video called Should I Keep Dating Him or Not? That's going to give you the information that you need. But in terms of should you keep dating, what I generally recommend to women is keep dating until he asks you to be exclusive. Because the reason is because most women don't know how to date one man without hyper-focusing and creating a lot of emotional interference. So most women need to have the feeling of being pursued, or you imagine your lovely imaginative suitors if you don't want to actually date someone. But you have to have, the important thing is that feeling of I'm being pursued and I'm the catch. Angelica's saying, love it, so encouraging. Thank you for sharing her story. Can't wait to send you one of those emails. I've learned and transformed so much. Thank you for this training. Yeah, I know it's going to happen. I know you're sending me that email. I live for those emails from my clients, and so many of my clients actually find their man within the program. So for those of you I want to tell you what I've done this year. For those of you who are interested in Get and Keep Your Man, who are like, okay, I get it. Nicole can help me through this. Nicole can help me stay very clearly on the manifesting path, so I actually get there and don't sabotage myself and don't create a bunch of emotional interference that's getting in the way. If that's you, but you're scared to join a love coaching program because you have fears about the money, or am I going to find the man, or whatever. What I've done this year, I've never done it before, is, Get and Keep Your Man's a year-long program. However, we're going to have an entire year of coaching after that for free if you do not meet your man within the program. So you're going to do Get and Keep Your Man. If for any reason you don't have your man when the program ends, we're going to put you into Stay in Love, which is an entire year of free training and coaching to make sure that you get there. So there's no risk, really, because as you've seen, Holly did Get and Keep Your Man. She made so many shifts. She was dating this guy that was very close at the end, but she had the tools. And now, after that experience, she has this incredible man. So again, if you have questions about the program, go to the links I've listed above or email love@loveworksmethod.com. And you can talk with a member of my team, or if you're super interested, you can talk to me and we can see if it's a right fit. Benita saying, what indicated to you would find love in California? It was just this deep intuitive knowing. It wasn't a thought. I don't know how to explain it any other way than it was a deep, 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 deep intuitive knowing. Sherelle saying, amazing. You're so amazing to offer this. I hope the ladies take advantage of this priceless opportunity. Yeah. Thank you for saying it's amazing. I've had some clients who did Get and Keep Your Man before being like, what? But I wanted to take the risk out of it because I also wanted to have people feel safe. Because for some people, it's too much pressure to try and meet the love of their life in a year. Some people are like, I'm ready. Teach me everything you know, Nicole. Let me get after it. And some people, they have a little bit of a different timeline. So this is my way of saying, if you work with me, you're going to be taken care of. You're going to be safe. I'm going to help you get there. And we're going to work with you until you get your result, because that's the commitment that we have here at Love Work. So it's been amazing being with all of you live. I hope you all have a deep understanding now, not only of what it takes to manifest. I said at the beginning, it's very simple, but also the emotional interference that's going to get in the way. If you want to have me and my team help you get there, Get and Keep Your Man is the way. we're also having a live event on February 10th and 11th for those of you who want to be with me live in person. So I invite you to consider both of those. And lastly, I want to thank all of you for being here, because as I said, you could be anywhere in the world, and you chose to be here with me now. And I take that as an honor. So, oh, I'm getting so many amazing comments. You guys, my clients are so amazing. Steph saying, Nicole is seriously the best. I spent my entire life single, and within 4 months of being in a year-long program, I met my guy who treats me like a queen. Yeah, amazing. Megan saying, what an amazing opportunity for us. Thank you for being so amazingly loving to us. You're welcome. Holly saying, I got the message that my man is in Florida, and I plan to move there this year. Awesome, Holly, awesome. Video saying, you're so generous. I love you guys. All right. It's been an amazing 2 hours here with you. It's been an amazing love coaching extravaganza. Megan's coming to the event in February. Yay! So excited to see you there. Suzanne saying, as usual, a wonderful 2 hours with you. Thank you for your loving generosity. This is my birthday, and you were my present. Oh, happy birthday. And thanks for the words about 122. I'll keep something in mind. Yeah, powerful manifesting energy. All right, ladies, I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of love. I want you to know that 2018 can actually be the year that you have epic love. It can actually happen that way. It takes manifesting and then letting go of the interference. Hi, Jenna. Will the recording be posted? That's a question mark that will be answered by my team if they figure out how to do it, okay? So I don't know the answer yet, but probably. Candace, where is the info for the program? So if you click on the links above, there's a webinar that talks more about the program. But if you specifically want to talk to someone, Candace, you can get on the phone with a member of my team or me, and we'll walk you through the details. So email love@loveworksmethod.com and just put in the subject line, I'm interested in information about Get and Keep Your Man, and we're happy to help. Yay, Megan's coming with her brand new car. Amazing. Stephanie saying, thank you for the program. Stephanie, I think you emailed us in or something like that. If so, we'll be getting back to you. All right, ladies, lots and lots of love. Have an incredible rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are at. And thank you for being here with me. Bye.